What's going on, everybody? Patch here, 1878 Casuals, joined by the maddest of faces, Top Boy Bandito Mike, and the man we know is English. Looking ahead to the game against the Birdie Blues on Saturday, and chatting about that and thinking about how we're going to play. And, as we've said on loads of videos before, we're really starting to see an identity with this team, a cohesion. They are all pretty, mentally aligned with each other, and they're playing some good link up, some good football. Ten Hog's got them operating for the most part on a similar wavelength, and we're starting to see that consistently. Well, we've been seeing that consistently. What is it? We've won the last, I don't know, we've won the last 18 out of 17 or some stat like that. That's just, point is, we're playing some good football, consistent football. We're grinding out those games that normally we would draw or lose. So, but this is one of the biggest tests of the season, is playing City at home. You got to perform for the crosstown rivals. And, let's not forget, we've beat Arsenal and we've beat Liverpool this season already. So, but then we got shellacked by City. But as I've said, that was a one-off. So how are we feeling going into the weekend, Bandito?
Yeah, so when you look at the schedule, the congestion of schedules, on one hand, you're like, well, the 3 points against Palace is the same as the 3 points against City, but it's not. It's rivalry. So, and we got, like you said, we got spanked, embarrassed over at the Etihad. I happened to be at that match, and it was bad. They were just walking the goals in. But you look at that game and where the team was. I'm not making excuses for we got outplayed and we weren't close to them that day, but we were closer to being that side that got beat by Brentford than we were, the current team, right? So we had Shaw, who was out of the squad. Malacia was starting, and he was just getting abused. Delo too. They were just getting abused by Grealish and Foden. And then you had Marcus Rashford being isolated up top as a center forward, and the pressing was non-existent. Their center backs, it was Akanji and Aka. They were just 30, 40 yards walking the ball up the center of the pitch before anyone would come near him. You had Rodri and Silva and Gundogan, and just loads of space, acres of space and time to make these crosses into the freak that is their center forward. So, they were kicking on, but now we've got our players kicking on. Obviously, Shaw is kicked on. Rashford is the form of his life, banging in goals. Like you said, we've got an identity. We know how to play together and for each other and for the shirt. And let's just say it the way it was. The boss got it wrong, that he got his tactics wrong. He was pushing up, Delo and Malacia up and in, and leaving just acres of space. And their players were able to switch the play, pass the ball into the grass and let their playmakers run onto it. And so you had, Jack Grealish with acres of space. All he does is anticipate the contact and goes down easy, and then they've got a free kick in a nice space. So, that's enough of that game. That was that game. So now we're looking forward to what we can do to see how close we are to the gap.
How are you feeling about the weekend, English? You think, now that we're seeing some more consistent play from the lads, and men like Rashford and Casemiro and Eriksen and Shaw, and there's a lot more guys that are playing consistently well in our squad than the first time we played them. What do you reckon we do about the lineup?
Well, in defense of our guys, you have to remember that it was the curse of Bandido's trip. I mean, we were getting didn't matter what game you went to, right? We were going to have to ban Mike from visiting Manchester under 21s first team.
We
So
could have been playing. We could have been playing Yeovil Town that weekend.
we're madly texting him, "Don't go to another game." But no, in all seriousness, yeah, look, they gave us a kicking, didn't they? But the form we're on right now, I mean, what can you say? It's fantastic, right? I mean, you know, it's all coming together. I was watching an interview today talking about Casemiro and you know, just what he brings to the dressing room. We talked about, you know, the pitch a lot, but what he brings to the dressing room, and everyone's heard me complain and everybody else about what I believe Pogba brought damaging wise to the dressing room. What Casemiro is obviously bringing is leadership. They're looking up to the guy. He's won titles. He's won trophies. You know, he's a professional. And it's, you know, it's oozing everywhere. You know, it's all over the place. You know, all the boys are performing that way. I think the youngins are looking up to their, not say their idols, but guys that know how to play the game. City are not on form. Obviously, today they were appalling. That's the only thing that does scare me is they were that bad today that they want to come back at the weekend after a good bollocking, you know, and you know, try and hand it to us because obviously. I'm not that the Caribou is that important to anybody, but yeah, it would have been the first time anyone's ever done 5 in a row for Pep if he'd got it, you know, which has got to be in his head. You know, no one's ever won 5 league titles. But I'm confident. I just hope he comes a bit more consistent with that back four. You know, I mean, we've seen some improvements, but I don't know why he keeps bringing in Harry or, you know, using him. It's just, you know, it's just the guy's got to be benched now. I mean, I know people think it's not a case of hating. It's just not right. It's just not right for the team.
And, yeah,
you know, and then the youngin, where we've been hiding him, the what do you say, police tree? Is that right, Benito?
Police tree. Yeah, he's been on loan. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah, we've been hiding him. You know, I would have loved to have seen that game that you were talking about, Mike. You know, Garnacho on one side and him on the other. So, you know, bring it on, mate. Noisy neighbours or noncy neighbours. So we say, you know, we're having you.
Yeah. Face, what do you reckon the lineup should be? Who starts, and you know, what did he get wrong in the first time we played City that he will, I mean, because he's a smart man, so what do you reckon he'll adjust?
Well, first of all, we went with a lineup of Delo, Varane, Martinez, Malacia, McTominay, Erickson, Bruno, Rashi was up top. I forget who was out to the left.
It was
Sancho. This is a whole different team. We're pressing now. We got Martial's going to be rested, and hopefully he's going to come out, show us something. But let me get off Martial's back. I was the one that I was going to talk shit about him anymore. He's actually has good movement, but the Casemiro difference has to go a long way. I don't think we're going to be intimidated by City. I think we have a team of veterans, of World Cup winners, of Champions League winners on our team. This is a whole different lineup they're going to face, and I think we're going to come at them. Southampton showed today, if you attack City and don't show fear, they will make mistakes. And they didn't like to get pressed today, which was weird to see. They didn't like it. But we know what's going to happen. They sat out Haaland, De Bruyne didn't play. You know, it's going to be all fire. But as far as I'm concerned, the Casemiro difference is huge. Diego Dalot not playing concerns me, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka looks okay. He's I've been working on it. He's
rolls
okay.
off the tongue now.
I think having him right now is not a bad thing because he's athletic. So I'm not saying Diego Dalot's not, but
He's put in some good performances lately.
Put in some good performance.
Face, do you remember this? You brought this up, I believe. You said City on one of the games that they played us, they attacked on Wan-Bissaka's side, not because he wasn't good at defense. He's, you know, he can put in a tackle.
Exactly.
He's fast. We all know that. But they did it because when they lose the ball, they know they were going to pin him in.
And they're going to get it right back.
And counter press and win it right back.
And that's very
do you think,
true.
How much do you think he's improved on that aspect?
Oh, I think he's a lot more comfortable on the ball. We've all been surprised at the fact that he wants to actually go get the ball now. So him looking comfortable makes us comfortable. But I just don't see if that's going to be their tactic. I just don't see that's going to work. I don't think that's going to be in their favor because, for example, there's going to be a world-class midfielder right next to him where he could like dump it to him, and it's McTominay versus Casemiro. I know we got overran in the middle of that. They dominated. They just ran through us, and I don't see that happening at all. I think we're
Yeah,
just
we
going
have
to
a
be way
proper
too
midfield now.
We have a proper. Some say we have the second best midfield to them, but I don't think so. I think we have the best midfield.
Casemiro is the tackles he's used to putting in and getting away with in Spain is kind of leaning towards yellow cards in the Premier League. That's my only concern.
Sure.
You know, I'm not saying he deserves them, but that's the only. He's gotta be aware of that. You know, it's a couple of times he's you know, stuff that we know that and we scream about when we play Spanish teams that they get away with. That's my only concern about him in the midfield, and not a negative, but he's got to adapt that to start a play here.
Well, because you got to figure that Pep has keyed into that, and he's probably going to be telling his guys, "Hey, run at Casemiro, force him to make tackles because he's going to fuck up."
Especially as Mikey just said with Grealish, you know, looking for that little touch to go down. You know what I mean? And then you give up some space in the middle there, and you get to De Bruyne starting to make some plays, and that's what we got to worry about. You know.
Sure.
I feel the Anthony Martial factor too is another thing we're overlooking, just for his presence on the press. So they're not going to be able to have that quick thought to be like, oh, let's find Tuanzebe. I mean, not Tuanzebe, but AWB. Let's find him, attack him. Martial's coming. So they're going to have to. It's not going to be that easy because they had a lot of time when we had Sancho, you know, and even though Rashford was up front, but they got to deal with Marcus. I ain't even talked about Marcus Rashford. They got problems. Fuck that. They got problems. Their
keeper weekend, but their keeper looked weak today too. Real. I mean, I came off his line like that for the second goal, which was a great goal. Got handed to the
great goal,
great strike. You know, both goals.
Was it their number one keeper? I can't remember.
I don't think it's the number one.
I don't think it's Ederson. I mean,
it wasn't Ederson. It was in that second.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Ollie would do, he had a lot of success against. He did a double or a triple, I think, one year over Pep. Is that, you know, he just play a defensive mid block, low block, and then counter attack with our athletes, our speed up top, and that's how Liverpool beat City this year. What do you guys think? Do you see us doing that, or do you see us just sticking to what we do and trying to dictate by what we do?
I think we're gonna run at them. I think we're gonna press them. I think we're gonna be more aggressive. I mean, like I said, you know, there's definitely much more security in the midfield now, especially with Casemiro. You got to figure he's gonna do Varane and Martinez center back pairing, or he might even do a back three, but I don't know about that because then I would say he would do a Shaw, Martinez, Varane, or something like that. But you're gonna need some pace in one of the fullback positions. So AWB or Shaw is gonna have to. So
Shaw didn't start that game either.
Okay,
right, there you go.
Malacia started that game. Shaw came in.
Right.
Malacia had a really bad game. He got subbed off at half.
Yeah.
One of the clever things that Ten Hag does is he rotates Eriksen almost like a back three. So you have almost like a deep line playmaker. So that kind of does two things. It gives you cover instead of having that massive just patch of grass for them to pass into. And secondly, it makes their midfield have to decide, do they want to, you know, follow Eriksen and pressure him, leaving, you know, that space in behind them for our number 10 to drop into. So that's one of the little clever things, you know. That's what he did with Daley Blind at Ajax, and that's one of the in-game adjustments to look for to see if he does that.
Did you see Pep said he had something special just for us?
Yeah. He's with the mind game.
All the boys.
He's full of shit.
He says that's all the boys.
No, we're gonna overthink it. We want Pep to overthink it.
He's a mind game. He does the mind games. We all know that. Nobody buys it anymore. Yeah.
Well, everybody's they thought that he was going to that Ten Hag was going to be his replacement, didn't he? That's what they were all in the scheme of things. So I think we're going to play United football. I mean, we're going to attack.
Yeah. I hope so. I really hope so.
Obviously, as a fan, we want to see that. You don't want them to have the ball. We want to keep pushing them. As we saw today. I mean, all right, it wasn't their first team, but Southampton give them a kicking. They didn't look like the champions that they've been. So again, there's two ways. Either they're going to be reeling off of that and they're going to suck because of it, or they're going to come back super hard because they just got their ass handed by Southampton. What, Southampton bottom of the league or second bottom?
Yeah, they're pretty close. Do you guys reckon Anthony starts? I know there's a lot of talk about Anthony and how he's only left-footed and stuff, but that was a pearl of a goal, Arjen Robben style. I mean, or do we start Anthony and then bring in Pellistri on the right or something like that? What do you guys reckon? Has he earned a starting spot, Anthony, for a game like this?
I think he's dangerous. I think just the fact of what he's capable of is still a fear factor in there, and you've got to worry about him. You've got, even if you've got to mark him out the game, it's still taking a player out, to take care of him. So start him. We can always, halftime sub him out. I think if we do need subs, they've got to come a little bit sooner, though. I don't like this 78-minute rubbish.
Yeah, give me like 60 minutes at 60th minute or something like that. I used to drive me nuts with Ole. He would do it so late. There's
only once in a generation or a millennium that somebody scores in the last 90 seconds, Ollie.
Right. We can't all be you, Solskjaer. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Yeah. No, we love.
Yeah, that. I think our attacking four, stays Rashford, Bruno, Martial, and then I would keep Anthony out there.
I think you keep the same thing too, but I think Alanga got bounced. I feel like Pellistri is going to be the backup.
Well, yeah.
He should be because he showed no fear, and he did in what he did in 4 minutes. He did more than Alanga did the whole game, which is crazy.
And we got Garnacho too. I mean, so yeah. I just hope he keeps that back four or back three strong, steady, and with what we can see is a winning combination.
Right. Well, now at least, as we've talked about, we have a different team now than the first time we played, and we've got a bunch more run of games in, found the identity and all that. And before, I feel like for a while, it was like our back three was our back four, back three, whatever we played, was the only line of defense. Now I feel like we got the back line and we got a midfield. It's a little more fortified at the goal. You know what I'm saying? So,
and plus,
remember Martial scored twice.
Yeah, we're keeping the ball, so that's helping our defense, right? We're possession ball.
It's like I've always saying too. You watch the guys, look at their faces; they're enjoying their football. And I always keep saying it makes. I don't care what team it is; it makes all the difference. Like you look at Newcastle, where Eddie Howe's doing there right now, they're enjoying their football. You enjoy their football, you start scoring, you start winning. So
yeah, I mean,
having fun.
I feel like Ten Hag is like the perfect storm of all the qualities of the managers we had since Sir Alex. Like Jose was obviously a good tactician, smart man of the game, but he was kind of an asshole. Ole, great guy, great player management, has some status in the club. His skill set wasn't quite there. Van Gaal, again, another, good mind of the game.
Brought on the youth.
Yeah, and so it's like, Ten Hag is sort of like the amalgamation of all those guys. He's not afraid to make the hard decisions. He's great man manager. I mean, I read the story, the gaffer at Charlton said after the game, Ten Hag invited me to his room. We had a drink. He gave a bottle of wine for me and my wife. He let me hang out. He talked to me. And I was like, that's a fucking proper man right there.
That's what Fergie used to always do. Ferguson would have a bottle of wine with the opposing manager and dinner, etc. Yeah, so he's the gentleman of the game.
Exactly. Yes, yeah. No, and so you're not playing Manchester United. You're playing fucking Manchester United, proper, coached well, playing well. We're playing at home. Crowd's going to be up for it. The boys are going to be up for it. Point I'm making is, to add on to your point, Jason, that they're actually enjoying their football, is like they want to play for this guy.
Exactly.
They're playing with confidence. They're playing for each other. They're working for each other, playing for the badge. They don't want to disappoint the fans.
Yeah.
You've got a core group of players that they know what it means to the city and to the Reds all around the world. This match, it's not just 3 points.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of pride too with them after the last match. I think the players they're going to come out like this is what this is what you really need to see.
Well, Leo, leadership trickles down no matter if you're playing American football, if you're soccer, if you're doing what you do, Pat. Leadership trickles down. You got a good leader. You're nothing your troops won't do for you. Whether you're a soldier, whether you're a football player, whether you're a rugby player, whatever. They send you into the breach. You believe in them. You'll follow them into hell. And these guys, is what they're doing.
I don't even put Harry Guire on the bench.
Might be a devil, mate. We might go on to hell, but we just went there to regroup because we're coming back with Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire's not even allowed to go to the game. Like, you stay home.
He's not allowed in the parking lot.
Forgive me, Harry. I'm sorry, Harry. That was a bad joke.
Cars in Liverpool.
That's a horrible joke.
Oh man, yeah, no. So I feel confident about the game at the weekend. And what do you guys reckon? I guess.
Ooh, predictions.
That's what I do. 2-1. The boys in red.
All right.
Making, getting the redemption, getting the win for Reds around the world. That's my prediction.
Bragging rights on Monday with all your mates at work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hell yeah. Base, what do you reckon?
2-0. I feel Bruno's going to come on and be a defensive mecha. He's just going to be all over them, causing problems, shithousery. Bruno had a night off. He's fresh.
All right.
And then Casemiro is just going to be like, here's the little sweet long passes. Sweet. Did you see the passes he did in just in the few minutes he played?
Outside of the foot?
Oh, I masturbate. Oh, excuse me.
It's all right. This channel is
2-0,
not safe
2-0.
for kids. Okay,
2-0.
What do you reckon, English?
Well, I'm actually going to be getting this groomed tomorrow, finally. It's been 2 weeks I've been trying to get to my barber. So, going to be looking good on Saturday. So, 3-0 United. That's what I reckon. Yeah.
All right. I was gonna go 2-0.
Saw it here first.
3-0. All right. I was gonna go 2-0. I was going to say, I gotta say our boy Rashford, because man's in form. And then I'm also gonna say maybe a little cheeky header from Casemiro or Varane, because we're gonna have to, at some point, part of the game plan is going to be to just get some crosses into the box. And I think, or some set pieces or something like that. I reckon we get a goal from a set piece. I'd like to see that from Varane. I think that would be
cheeky.
Yeah. I like that.
That'd be fun if Varane scores.
Hey, it's going to be a good start to the weekend. 4:30 game. United winning. Yeah.
Start the weekend off right. We'll be at O'Brien's
3 alarms.
in Santa Monica. 3 alarms. Yeah. Yeah, set your 3 alarms if you're in the States. We'll be at O'Brien's Pub in Santa Monica, cheering with the rest of the Reds.
It's gonna be a full house.
It's gonna be a full house. Come out, show your support, and we don't serve beer. They don't serve beer or liquor till 6 a.m. So
go to your cars.
Bring your own shit for the parking lot. I didn't say that. You didn't hear it here. 1878 Casuals. That's gonna do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We love you guys and support. Be sure to like, subscribe, share it with your homies and your mates and your friends and your pals and your dogs and your cats, everyone who will watch and listen. So we'll guys see you on the next one. See you at O'Brien's on Sunday. And as always,
always up the Reds.
Get them Glazers out of here. Up the Reds.